So, folks, on the 11th of August, Minister Jack Chambers announced that Ireland is after submitting its third payment request under EU's RRF for a value of 240 million. RRF is the Recovery and Resilience Facility Fund um, from the EU. And this is Ireland's third payment that they'll get off these because the parasites are doing exactly what they said they would do for this agenda. Now, Ireland is set to receive 1.15 billion over the lifetime of the NRRP, which is the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, which is funded by the RRF as part of the European Recovery Plan, which is the Next Generation EU. The overall plan of the NRRP is to contribute to a sustainable, equitable, green, and digital recovery. So it's basically your new Ireland that the government keep talking about. Um, this payment is given on a performance basis, and basically meaning when the government meet their milestones and targets, they'll get their next payment. So they're already after receiving two payments. The first payment they received was 324 million, and the second payment was 115 million, and that was they're after meeting 117 targets and milestones for their for their plan. Now this payment request is relates to 14 milestones and targets that have a value of 240 million. But some of the targets include the electrification of the transport networks in Cork and Drogheda. So that's your C maps that I was talking about the other day. Um, excuse me, the Technological Universities Transformation Fund, so that everything can be digitalised. It also includes a series of reforms in areas including the National Biomethane Strategy, which sets out the necessary policy and regulatory measures and provides a roadmap to developing a biomethane industry of scale in Ireland. Once this is approved, Ireland will have successfully achieved 60% of the milestones and targets within the plan of their 1.15 billion allocation. Now, where they're behind is on the climate aspect of it, folks. Everything else they're up to date and they have done to speed, have done to exactly please their masters in the UN and their puppets in the World Economic Forum. The Recovery and Resilience Fund came into force on the 19th of February of 2021, and it finances and reforms investments in the EU member states made from the start of the pandemic in February 2020, and it'll run until December of 2026. Now, every government in the EU have submitted a national recovery and resilience plan, which I've done a video about that before. But I might go back and look at it again now because they'll be after updating it for this payment, outlining the reforms and investments that they'll have to implement by the end of 2026. But with this investment, this money that they're getting now, they'll have to, the things that they're planning, the reforms that they're planning to change and do, they'll have to have done by August 2026. And 37% of this budget is going to go to the green measures, and 20% is going to go to digital measures. And with the green measures, that's where the nonsense, the RE Power EU program and plan come into place, because everything is connected here, folks. Absolutely everything is a program and a directive that comes from the UN, stems down to the EU, and then they fund it and throw it out to us, and we make it a policy and implement it into law. But this all has to be done and implemented by August 2026. So what we allow will continue, folks.